All right, everyone. Ready to dive into something you might not expect. Tartar.
Tartar.
I know, right? Doesn't exactly sound exciting, but believe me, it's way more interesting than you think. We're going deep on what causes that stubborn buildup, why it's not just about looks, and how to keep your smile sparkling.
It's funny, we go about our day, brush our teeth, feel that little grittiness, never really thinking about the science behind it all.
So true. We've all had that chalky feeling even after brushing, right?
Right.
But get this, that's actually hardened plaque, tartar.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, it's not just harmless gunk hanging out on your teeth.
Exactly. That buildup is basically a welcome mat for bacteria. It creates the perfect environment for them to multiply and cause real problems.
So it's more than just an aesthetic thing. Suddenly flossing seems way more appealing.
Hmm. You got it. Tartar is a major culprit behind gum disease, which is something we want to avoid, obviously.
Okay, so let's break this down. How does regular plaque actually transform into this super stubborn tartar?
So you've got plaque, which is already this sticky film of bacteria, and then your saliva gets involved, specifically the calcium phosphate in it. Think of it like, imagine a cement mixer, but instead of concrete, it's binding all that gunk together and hardening it right onto your teeth.
Okay, not the most appealing image, but you're saying it's more than just bacteria hardening. Right. What else is hiding in that tartar?
Well, here's the wild part. Only about 40 to 60% of tartar is actually that mineral buildup. The rest is a crazy mix of fossilized bacteria, food particles, even things like smoke if you're a smoker. It's like a microscopic time capsule of your lifestyle.
Wow, so it's not just what you eat, but your overall choices that leave their mark. Literally. And not exactly something we want to be advertising.
Precisely, and this is where it goes beyond just wanting a pretty smile. This is about your overall health.
Let's talk about that. We've covered the ick factor, but what's the real deal? Why should we care about tartar beyond just wanting a nice smile?
Okay, so think about it. That rough, porous buildup is a breeding ground for even more bacteria. It causes constant irritation and inflammation of your gums, which can lead to gingivitis, the first stage of gum disease. And if that's left untreated, it can progress to periodontitis. Periodontitis is much more serious. It can actually damage the bone and tissues that support your teeth.
Okay, things just got real. But what about people who are super careful about their oral hygiene but still seem prone to tartar? Is it just bad luck, or is there more to it?
That's a great question. It shows that there's more to it than just blaming yourself. While good oral hygiene is crucial, some people are simply more susceptible to tartar because of things like genetics, their saliva composition, even certain medications.
So genetics, saliva, medications, sounds like a few wild cards in the tartar game. But hey, knowledge is power, right? If you know you're prone to it, you can be extra cautious about prevention. Speaking of which, what can we do to fight back against this tartar invasion?
Well, first we have to address the elephant in the room. As much as we might wish it wasn't true, even the most advanced toothpaste can't fully replace professional cleanings.
Wait, you're telling me even with my trusty electric toothbrush, a trip to the dentist is still a must?
I know, but those hygienists have tools that can reach places our toothbrushes can only dream of. They're the true tartar warriors.
All right, fair enough. But what about all those DIY tartar removal hacks you see online? Baking soda, lemon juice, coconut oil. Any truth to those?
So while there are stories about home remedies, the research we looked at really emphasizes professional cleaning as the most effective and safest way to remove existing tartar. Trying to scrape it off yourself can actually do more harm than good. You could damage your enamel and potentially create even bigger problems later on.
So we'll leave the heavy lifting to the professionals, but that doesn't mean we're powerless between dental visits, right? There's got to be something we can do at home.
You're absolutely right. There's plenty we can do. And the good news is, even small changes can make a big difference.
Okay, I'm all ears. Our listeners know I'm all about those small changes that equal big results. So what have you got? What can we do at home to keep tartar away?
Well, let's start with the basics. We've all been brushing our teeth since we were kids, but you'd be surprised how many people aren't brushing correctly to really remove plaque effectively.
Hold on, are you saying there's a wrong way to brush your teeth? I mean, it's not rocket science, is it?
You'd think so, right? But using gentle circular motions and angling your brush at 45 degrees towards the gum line are key to breaking up that plaque before it hardens. And of course, don't forget about the inner surfaces of your teeth.
Okay, I'll admit, I might need to work on my brush angling technique. What else can we do?
Don't worry, you're not alone. Now, I know we touched on it earlier, but I have to emphasize flossing. It's not just about getting those stray pieces of food out. It's about reaching those tight spaces between your teeth where plaque loves to hide and harden, the places your toothbrush just can't reach.
No more excuses for skipping flossing then. I'm ready to step up my game. Anything else we can add to our routine?
Absolutely. This one might be new to some people, but tongue scraping can be really helpful in the fight against bacteria.
Tongue scraping, you mean with one of those little metal tools?
That's the one. Your tongue is like a welcome mat for bacteria. Scraping it gently can remove a lot of those unwanted guests, making it much harder for them to contribute to plaque and tartar.
That makes sense. I've seen those tongue scrapers around, but never thought about using one. I might need to reconsider.
It's worth a try. And while we're talking about keeping things clean, let's not forget about mouthwash.
Right, mouthwash. Is it actually doing anything besides masking bad breath, or is it helping to fight tartar?
Mouthwash can be a really valuable tool. Rinsing after meals, especially if you can't brush right away, helps get rid of food particles and neutralize some of the acids that bacteria produce. Look for one that has fluoride for extra protection.
Okay, so we've got brushing, flossing, tongue scraping, rinsing. That's quite the oral hygiene routine. Anything else, or are we ready to declare victory over tartar?
We're getting there. But remember earlier when we talked about saliva and how it plays a role in that mineralizing process? Well, you can actually do things to encourage healthy saliva flow, which helps naturally wash away food particles and neutralize acids.
Ooh, so we're not just fighting the bad guys, we're giving our natural defenses a boost, too. Tell me more. I'm all about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Remember how we talked about sugar being like a buffet for those plaque bacteria? Chewing sugar-free gum, especially one with xylitol, can actually help counteract that.
Wait, chewing gum can actually be good for your teeth.
It can. Chewing stimulates saliva production, and xylitol is a natural sweetener that those bacteria can't break down. So you're not only helping wash away food particles and neutralize acids, you're essentially giving those bacteria a taste of their own medicine.
So it's like inviting them to a feast where they can't eat anything. I love it. More saliva, less chance of those minerals going rogue and cementing themselves to our teeth. It all connects. It's amazing how much we just assume about everyday things like brushing our teeth.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it shows something important. Understanding the why behind these recommendations can be just as motivating as the recommendations themselves. When you know why you're doing something, it's a lot easier to stick with it.
That's so true. It's like anything else, the more you understand something, the more invested you become in taking care of it. Doesn't it feel good to really understand something? We've gone from what even is tartar to feeling like tartar tackling pros.
I'd say we've definitely made some progress. We've looked at the science, busted some myths, and you've got some real strategies for a healthier smile.
And I love ending our deep dives with something you can actually use. So for anyone ready to level up their oral health game, we've got a little challenge for you.
A challenge. I like it.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Okay, so we talked a lot about sugar and how it affects plaque, but remember how we mentioned other dietary factors are involved too?
You're right. The research surprised even me with how many dietary factors can impact our oral microbiome, which is a fancy way of saying the community of microorganisms living in your mouth.
Right. So here's your mission, should you choose to accept it. Do a little detective work on your own diet. Maybe you're a coffee addict like me and could use a little more water. Or maybe those crunchy snacks you love are actually tougher on your teeth than you thought.
Exactly. And it's interesting, even the texture of food can make a difference. Crunchy foods can actually help scrub your teeth naturally, while sticky foods can cling to your teeth and lead to more plaque. It's all about being aware of those everyday choices and how they impact our well-being.
I love that. It's not about cutting things out completely. It's about making informed choices. And there you have it, folks, another deep dive in the books. Armed with knowledge, a trusty toothbrush, and maybe a little less sugar, you've got this.
And don't forget about that tongue scraper.
Oh, yeah, that too. Until next time, happy brushing, everyone.